Welcome to the race, everybody. This is Sunday night Skippy Racing action coming to you live from virtual Sonoma Raceway, and this is going to be a good one. I'm joined tonight by Peter Lee, as usual. How are you doing tonight, Peter?
I'm doing great, trying to keep cool here in the Pacific Northwest. It's actually hotter up here in the Pacific Northwest and the Canadian Southwest than it is in virtual Sonoma, which is pretty unusual.
Yeah, it's going to be a warm one tonight for the racers as well. I saw on the news how warm it is for you guys up there. Not that it's cool in the Northeast right now, but yeah, I don't envy you at all. I don't envy the drivers here. They're going to be having a tough night. Great racetrack. We saw some great racing here on the last season. We're gridding up. So I've put up the grid really quick here. Andy Au with the pole, Rusty Pottenberg, the outside pole. Congratulations to those drivers tonight on turning some really fantastic laps. And you can see already that the drivers are gridding, so we're just going to get right to the action. Find your favorite driver and cheer them on. Matt Shepka's on, asking who we got, man. Boy, that's a tough one. We got Nathan Tetzloff in here. He's a new guy, so he's kind of an unknown. Maybe take him as an outside shot. But Rob Chestnut, we've got Rob was in here turning laps before anybody. He was the only one who knew the password, so he may be the outside favorite to take this at the end of the night.
Well, and Rusty Pottenberg has been just improving by leaps and bounds. It's great to see him on the front row. He might be due for a win. And Andy Au is pretty much a newcomer to the league this season, and pole position is pretty impressive.
Yeah, very tight grouping there too for the pole times. You can never really tell. I didn't get the practice time, so you don't know exactly how close everybody was. But quality laps, sometimes they're not super representative of everything that happened. But here we go. Either way, the lights are about to go out here at virtual Sonoma in the Cup historic layout, and away they go. All 15 Skip Barber Formula 2000s on the way.
And lap one is super treacherous here. The track is pretty slick, and as you climb up this hill, around this right-hander, all the cars get pretty light. And then as they make this left-right, that's another place where cars get just really a little squirrely, especially on cold tires. And so hopefully everyone will be careful and survive this first lap.
So this is actually, and look at that turnoff there. So there's no off tracks there, I'm assuming there. This layout, like I said, this is the difference right here. You can remember where you went up the hill, you kind of made the left and the right over the hill. Whoa, and we've got somebody off pace there. That's Robert West. Holds on to it though, not going to gain any damage from that. Making his way through the S's there, no problem. Going to lose some spots, but overall, no worse for the wear. Oops. Boy, I'm not looking at anything correctly here tonight. What was I saying? Sorry. we're off and running. We started a few minutes early, folks, so I'm still trying to get my wits about me. And we've got Nathan Tetzloff off pace here. Look at that. Who's cutting right through the tire barriers? Man, we got 4 wide going down the front straight.
Well, yeah, I think you're talking about the layout because we were here late last season.
There we go. That's what I was talking about.
In the Cup layout, and this Cup historic layout cuts out the favorite carousel that I think all the skipping drivers just love, but that's absent here. And so what you end up with is a faster track, and it sort of adds a little more danger in a way. But also eliminates the passing zone. So we might see a little more desperation for drivers, especially near the end. Oh, it looks like there's the...
Oh, and we've got the 28 car there. That's Andy Au. He was on the pole. What happened to him?
And Rusty Pottenberg is also...
And Rusty Pottenberg. Okay, let's go. Let's go back. Let's do the Cav OK Racing Network replay here. He's coming around. So this is the turn I was just about to ask you about, where the track limits are, because you were just saying how treacherous it was, and look at that. There's just no...
That's right. And so the curb on the inside and the curb on the outside, you can go right over. And oh boy, what happens is when someone's way wide on the exit there, they want to avoid that tire barrier and come right in. and it can cause an incident like that.
It's very reminiscent to me of Watkins Glen Turn 1 there. This is actually the Sonoma. I think that's what I was originally trying to say. This is the Sonoma layout that I grew to know because I was a NASCAR fan growing up. So this is
Yes.
kind of what I was used to watching. I thought this was Sonoma. Little did I know there were so many other layouts that actually get used now, and this one does not. But that's going to leave Chaz Weber out there out front by a good second and change. So yeah, let's see what happens here. Good battle still though for that 5th position. Robert West, who got a little squirrely there initially, is trying to chase down Carter Stickney for the 4th position. Biggest gainer so far, actually 2 of them. No, I'm sorry, take that back. Thomas Photos, who's joining us once again. Thomas has not raced with us too much lately. He's got, real friends, real things to do. So while we're happy for him, we're also happy that he's back racing with us. And that is actually, I want to get a closer look at that car because he's a Colorado gentleman and man after my own heart for a lot of those outdoor activities there in the Colorado Rockies. And those look like mountains on the side of his car. So I'm going to see if I can zoom in on that.
While you're doing that, Andy Au and Rusty Pottenberg that got into that incident, Rusty had to tow. Andy avoided a tow, and so he limped back into the pits. And so he's remaining on the same lead lap with everyone by avoiding the tow, which I think is good on him.
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's a minute. So they're doing the best time right now is 1:24. So yeah, by avoiding that tow, I've got to imagine it's about a 3-minute tow or so. Yeah. So being able to avoid that tow keeps you on the lead lap. The laps are long enough where, yeah, maybe he just sees this as a potential strategy play. They do have to do 2 pit stops. It might be a little early for the fuel yet, but I guess we'll see. As you can see the runoff there, and look how close that is. So I was trying to get a view of Photos's car, but you can just see how close they get to that tire barrier there off turn whatever that is. I've been asking about.
Right.
So very interesting.
And Daniel Pogowski's keeping the pressure on Thomas, and it'll be interesting. This is a track where the draft keeps you in contact, and so Daniel might be pretty content to just stay in his toe that way.
Well, Robert West, I can't talk tonight. Robert West, newcomer. We'll ride along board with him. It's going to keep the pressure up. This is the battle happening just behind the one we were just watching, and he is doing his darndest to keep on the Carter Stickney's custom number 36, and doing a pretty dang good job after that early wobble.
It looks like Rob Chestnut hit a wall coming out of turn 9 and had to tail, so he's in the pits.
Chestnut, unfortunate for him. So all that extra practice, I don't know.
And Craig Montgomery is in the pits as well.
So he just dropped a wheel into that dirt rear. Oh boy, who was that? That was Rich Buller, the 48 car. I know that car anywhere. I was able to narrowly avoid him. That was some amazing maneuvering on his part. This is the closest battle still here between Carter Stickney and Robert West. Another good one here, Joe Zubovich in that Felix the Cat, Team El Gato machine. He's got Barry Stockdale right on his tail. And then other than that, I mean, look at this. Chaz Weber was out to over a second lead, and that's under a second now. So keep your eyes on the battle for the lead here. This isn't over yet. This is not Thomas and Dan Pogowski, Carter Stickney, Robert West. These guys are all raring to go and chase down that Subaru number 8 car.
Back in P12, Craig Montgomery came in for a pit stop, and it looked like, I think the way the fuel limits are working for this race, the pit refueling window is actually open. So Craig might be trying to escape from all of this traffic and do a little bit of an undercut.
Okay, so the first undercut strategy is in play here. We still don't know if the early wrecks will play into that. Probably not, but this appears to be the first fuel strategy pit stop here. as Andy Au was one of those first incidents. So yeah, obviously he's also had a pit stop there. You can see the shell machine, the red car right behind him, and they both have one pit stop, but I think one may be in slightly better position than the other, although we shall see.
Well, it's Thomas Photos is now within half a second of Charles Webber. Um, I think Charles is going to be feeling the heat here pretty soon. And then further back, battle for P7. There's, I guess, Chris, we were asking around, what do you call a group of skippies?
Oh yeah, like a large group of skippies. I heard one suggestion that was pretty good. What do you got?
Well, I think someone said a group of crows is called a murder. It seemed like you were favoring that one.
That one seems pretty appropriate. I do appreciate it. I feel like that may have come up before, but I don't know for sure. So either way, actually, I'm looking through Discord here to see who brought that up, because we may give credit to that. That was on broadcast. Yeah, that was. Oh boy. Oh, of course, it's somebody's name that I can't pronounce. Newcomer. Kasirowic. Kevin Kasirowic. So unless anybody wants to claim credit for that, we'll call a group of skippies a murder, just like the crows.
Well, kudos to Kevin.
And look at this though. Michael Schmidt, Joe Zubovich, Barry Stockdale. Now Michael Schmidt's of course pulling away just a little bit, but this is a you could fit all these three skippies under a blanket here, battling for that 7th position.
Where they're going through right now, that turn 9-10 complex is a lot trickier than it looks. The curves look gentle, but it is so slick. And of course, we saw the incident there earlier. It's something where you're just flat out. You're just pedal to the metal in 4th gear, and the skippy, if the tires are warm, just barely has enough grip to get through that turn complex. And so it's definitely something. And you really, in this situation where you're trying to hold on to the draft, you just have to stick with it.
Weber still holding on to the lead there by 0.6 seconds. No changes there. Thomas Photos, Dan Pagowski, Carter Stickney, and Robert West are your top 5. So we haven't seen much movement yet. Thomas Photos, your top mover on the evening, up 6 spots. Just behind him, Rich Butler up 5 spots, and then both Dan Pagowski and Joe Zubovich, and actually Barry Stockdale, all up 4 spots. So this remains, I think, the most compelling race of the evening so far, barring something amazing happening here with Craig Montgomery, the first undercutter of the evening, and he is still held off Andy Au. I gotta say, I thought Andy Au was just kind of waiting for his spot, but Craig Montgomery has held him in check here for a couple laps.
It's super hard. Passing here is really difficult, and this is why I think some of the drivers were really thinking hard about their pit strategies and trying to understand, how best, to manage their fuel, because it really could be the safest and best opportunity to get better track position.
Rich Butler in the pits now. He will be the second taker. So Rich Butler, Jake Ashe, Craig Montgomery, Andy Au, Rusty Pottenberg, and Rob Chestnut have all pits. And I believe Rich Butler and Craig Montgomery are the 2 of those who were not involved in early incidents. Look at this. Look to the inside by Andy Au. Is he going to make it stick? No, because look at that run that you're going to get outside line there, the 99 car. Gosh darn, man, that's got to be frustrating for Andy Au. But either way, these guys are putting down some pretty fast laps. Craig Montgomery just set his best for the evening.
Jake Ashe, it's not a surprise. We watch him every week take pit stops pretty early in the fuel window, and so he's partaken of that and is back out on track.
Oh, he's not gonna. Okay, so there you go, Jake Ashe, obviously one of the he's one of the godfathers of the undercut. So I think he's probably the standard for When to pit. If you're pitting before Jake Ashe, you're doing it wrong. Of course, we'll see. I don't know. Craig Montgomery did, but he seems to be doing all right. Thomas Fotosin ducking in early. So he's going to come in on lap 10. It's a good question. So Brandon Shelton has a question out there on Twitch. What's a full fuel run here on laps? Do you know?
Well, yeah, so there's the fuel limit is set up so that you can get about 16 minutes of running time on this track. And so maybe 17 if you stretch it out. And so for a 35-minute race, that really calls, for, you'll fall about a minute or two short if you try to get by on just one pit stop. Now, many people in Skippy Formula 2 have tried to finish races on one pit stop. But as far as we know, no one's managed to do that successfully. You'd really have to manage fuel on track really, really carefully.
Set up for a two fuel stop run. Very difficult, other than slowing up a ton, which of course costs you the time. Makes it maybe not necessarily the smartest thing to do. So see what happens. All right. Here we go. Weber, Pagowski, Stickney, all in. West is going to be the lone driver yet to pit, assuming Joe Zubovich does not. Okay, so these are the last two. These are your last two drivers who will not have pit. Joe Zubovich, Robert West. So we'll see where they all cycle out, but let's keep our eye on Charles Weber because let's see, who was... Here we go, Thomas Fotos.
It'll be interesting to see how Charles and Thomas come out here. So it looks like Thomas is going to take the lead out of the coming around the pit exit. The Thomas Fotos won out in that duel of the undercut versus the overcut.
So Brandon, it's going to be a two-stop race. Difficult to do the one-stop race, I believe, is kind of the ultimate thing, because you could do 16 stretch to 17, but you're really asking for trouble if you do that. 35-minute race, so it just makes sense to come in for two stops. And you can see here with the undercut, Thomas Fotos removing himself from that traffic and all that trouble, and able to do that now. So here's the other thing here. Let's pull in. So Robert West is in pit road as well. I'm going to pull up the pit lane time, because the other piece of this puzzle is how much fuel did you take. So the undercut is great, but you're going to have to fill up more fuel next time.
That's right.
Here you go. Here's your pit lane time. Thomas Fotos was 48 seconds, nearly 49. Weber with 51.7, so nearly 52. You can see the obvious difference there, but that's going to mean that Fotos is going to have less fuel. He's going to have to stop earlier and maybe fill up with a little bit more fuel on the next go around. So it's up to him now to lay down some serious laps to make up the difference. And I mean, he's got a clear track, so all's in his court. Whoa, look at that. Barry Stockdale zooming by Joe Zubovich there. Andy out in trail. This is going to be now a 5-car battle for E8. This is all for position here, folks. There's Barry Stockdale, Andy Au, Joe Zubovich, Rich Butler, and Michael Schmidt. What a great race. Let's ride out along board here with Michael Schmidt, the last car in this train, so you can just get a sense of what he's looking at. And to your point, Peter, this is a very fast course, so trying to find a spot to make that pass has got to be just, I mean, good luck. wondering why he was being so quiet. All right, well, Peter is off doing bigger and better things, so that's fine. We're gonna check in here with the battle for, oops, one less there. Carter Stickney and Nathan Tetzloff. This is for 4th position. Oh man, I gotta come back here. I'm sorry. This is gonna be wheel to wheel racing. So the last time we checked in with Michael Schmidt, he was kind of far back. I don't know exactly what happened, but he caught way up there and was basically side by side with Lord Barry, but looks like they're gonna gain a little bit of breathing room for at least the moment. Out in front, Thomas Photos is 1 second ahead now. Chaz Weber, an A car, and then they've got a solid 3.8 seconds back to Dan Pagowski. Thank you very much, Avery. We appreciate that. Oh, you're on YouTube. For all the Twitch streamers out there, Avery McDonald checking in just to give us some love there on YouTube, telling us we're the best. We aren't, but we appreciate the sentiment. Here we go. Michael Schmidt trying to make a move on Barry Stockdale once again. I'll tell you what, Schmidt just kind of backs up a little bit, and then I don't know if he's just faster through the last sector, so let's just kind of tune into this race here. Rich Butler seems to be maintaining fairly decent lead on both of these guys, so I just don't know where Schmidt is making up all that time on Stockdale. It's kind of crazy, but and yeah, we gotta get Jake up front. We love Jake Ashe. He's broadcast for us with us, race with him and Narca series. Love to see him do well, and he's got speed, man. We've said this 1,000 times. He's got speed. He just he's like me, man. You just shoot yourself in the foot sometimes, and that's all it takes. Look at this. Look at this. Oh my gosh. Rich Butler making the move on the inside. Oh man. Wheel to wheel. Doing his best. It's so, okay, so that's interesting. So check that out. You make that move on the inside there on the hairpin, but being on the outside seems to give you a better run off to the start-finish line. What a great battle here. Jake racing with you on Monday night. Yeah, he seems to be. He's got his fingers in a little bit of everything, man. He's a true Renaissance man for sure. Oh, Rich Butler checking up there, trying to maintain clear. Joe Zubovich. This race really heating up for the 8th position. Keep your eye too on that battle for 4th there. That interval's getting slow or low. Thomas Photos is losing his ground to Chaz Weber, and we are closing in on 22 minutes here of this 35-minute race. So things could get interesting. Peter Lee checking in on the Discord. Oh boy, sorry. I was just trying to check in. Peter Lee sent a message. Everything died there because of the heat, so that's fine. We'll try to continue on without him. It's just not the same, but it is what it is. Oops. As I'm doing that, you all probably saw Barry Stockdale making the pass on Joe Zubovich. And we've got Rich Butler and Craig Montgomery. So Craig Montgomery, one of the first early pitters, he is back in once again with a very quick pit time. So I think maybe something happened. I mean, Rich Butler's showing a crash. Oh. Okay, so he and Joe Zubovich made contact. So that's a pit. Oh no, he missed it. Shoot. I think if oh, so he had to tow. Okay. Yeah, so I thought maybe he had gotten contact there and made it back into pit road and able to use that fast repair, but yeah, that tow's gonna kill him. All right, Jazz Weber into pit road. Thomas Photo remains out. Dan Pagowski remains out. The strategy game here is definitely afoot. Everybody, you can see Rich Butler coming out now. He should have the fuel to make it to the end, even though he had the unfortunate tow penalty there. As Jake Ashe making his way in, the aforementioned Jake Ashe, he's making his second pit stop, so good for him. Nathan Tetzloff is trying to hold off Carter Stickney. And then we've still got Michael Schmidt and Joe Zubovich. Look, ooh man, getting a little loose there. That turn right there, that's going to be death in Skippy Formula One later tonight. I'm calling it now, calling it early. Dan Pagowski out there running second place. Back up here. Either one of these gentlemen deciding to come into pit road, so they will remain out for yet another lap. Whoa, boy, look at that, man. Robert West getting it sideways, trying to avoid Stickney and Tetzloff. Gonna send them back just a little bit, but luckily those tires are sturdy, folks. This is not NASCAR, this is not IndyCar. Those tires are rock solid. They are going to hold up. He's gonna have another shot at this here as soon as he can catch back up. Andy Au, Jake Ashe, wheel to wheel as they go down into the hairpin. We'll see again what we got, an inside line, we got an outside line. Jake, oh, he slows up quite a bit. Looks like he's just gonna let Andy Au on by, thinking better of the potential for shenanigans there. And then just kind of, okay, all right, let's go. Bring me along. Save some fuel, maybe, we'll see. All right, we're back. Sorry about that. Thomas Photos is in. Robert West is in to pit road. That's going to leave Dan Pagowski out there. Brandon Shelton being too nice once again. Nathan Tetzloff and Carter Stickney. This is currently the battle for P2, although neither one of these guys have been in for their second pit stop, so we'll see how that goes. Your leader with 2 right now, as it stands, is still Thomas Photos. Let's look back here. He's got Charles Weber right there. So that's your gap for currently your leaders with 2 pit stops. That's second place, and that's first place. Everybody else ahead of these guys has to pit one more time. Their gap right now is 21 seconds. So we will see what happens as he, ooh, man, Thomas really trying to make his way around Barry Stockdale there. He's got that pressure from Weber. He's got to get around there quick. No easy task. Still, I mean, technically this is all for position right now, even though Stockdale still has to come down pit road one more time. And now Weber, as Stockdale stays out, so Carter Stickney coming into pit road. He's going to relinquish. That's his second pit stop. And it's going to leave Dan Pegowski and Nathan Tetzloff, sorry, out there as your sole remaining pit stoppers. And they've actually increased their gap right now to 23 seconds. Well, at least Dan Pegowski has, I should say.
Hey, Chris, I'm back.
Hey, Peter, how's it going?
It's hot. It's hot
Did you
up here.
you need to did you get somebody to stand there with some paper and start fanning the
My wife was so
CPU?
sweet. Yeah, she actually pulled out a fan and put the fan right up against the router, which
Got to do it one way or another, man. That's awesome. That's teamwork right there. I appreciate that. Tell your wife I appreciate that, because I'll tell you what, nobody wants to listen to just me blather on about all this, which I'm probably gonna have to do in Skippy Formula One anyway. But certainly we don't want to do that anymore. But so you're probably are you caught up? But or do I need to? Should I recap for you and the viewers at home?
That would be fantastic.
All right, so we've got Tetzloff and Pegowski in pit road. Currently right now you can see Dan coming out, but that's going to leave Thomas Photos, Kaz Weber. This is your current battle for the lead. That 23-second gap that Dan Pegowski had was not going to be enough. All of our drivers have had at least 2 pit stops now. That being said, that's just a total amount. There may be some ones that were missing there, due to wrecking or whatever the case. But as of right now, in theory, all these drivers have had 2 pit stops. So these are your gaps that are going to be for the race finish. Right now, we've got Thomas Photos up 7 spots overall. He's your current biggest gainer, with Dan Pegowski in 3rd, up 4 spots. And and that's it. We've got, looks like everybody kind of spaced out a little bit. Well, not spaced out, but got a little bit of a gap.
Well, it's really impressive to see Thomas Photos just make that charge up to the lead, and he's just in a great position here with just 4.5 minutes left.
Yeah, he's really feeling this course here. Although, keep your eye on that gap there. 1 second now. Actually, let's check it out as they cross line, because we've got approaching 31 minutes in a 35-minute race. So 4 more minutes, probably about 3 or 4 more laps. Three more laps. I don't know. I can't do math. So that's what Weber's got to try to make this up. And I will bring up the sectors here so we can follow along. You can see already in Sector 1, Weber gaining just a touch, not enough, but just a touch.
And now, this is, where they just turned. That's one of the prime passing opportunities. And really, the only other one that works is definitely not through these S's, but into and out of the final turn, the turn 11 hairpin. And so after they get through these S's, what Chuck is going to want to do is to try to close up as much as possible to the hardest braking zone on the track, which is coming into this turn 11 hairpin. And if you can get a good run here, then you have just barely enough time from the exit of that hairpin to the turn 1, turn 2 combination for a pass. But it's really tough, and you have to be close.
Every single sector, Weber is gaining ground, and you can see that reflected in the gap right there. Benjamin 3 says, "Welcome back, Peter." Yes, indeed, welcome back.
Well, thank you, Ben.
David Medina is also saying, "Hello, BRL champ." I will get to that later. I'll probably get to that in the SF1 race, but I had a very good day today. It was a very exciting racing career sort of day for me, and we'll chat about that. But for the moment, We can see here, this is not only the closest battle on the track, but the battle for the lead and the win, with just a lap or two remaining, as Weber really just pushing that car to the extreme. And I can't imagine it. Like, he's right there. He's right there. How do you not overdrive the car? How do you maintain the discipline to just run your racing line and try to walk him back?
Yeah, and they're going to be very close here. In a way, Thomas Photos, I think this was probably going to be the white flag coming this time around. Yes, it's close.
It's going to be real close. Oh my gosh.
No.
That might be real close.
Yeah, I think they probably have 4 laps, and that could
Photos couldn't do anything about that. He could have slowed up and maybe bought himself one last lap, but
Photos, Weber is really caught up, and Photos might have been trying to actually slow it down there right at the line,
and just trying to make it work. But oh dang!
Now, Chris, I missed this, but this could also play into fuel because basically this amounts to an extra lap on track that probably no one on track really accounted for.
Yeah, I'm not getting any white flag indications, are you? I can't tell.
No.
Well, he's worked his way back out to 0.5 seconds, which is kind of where we, it was probably 0.6, 0.7 where he's picked this up, but
meanwhile, back in P3, Daniel Pogowski, I think, is probably playing it safe, settling for a P3 finish, which is a great result for him.
Well, and something that wasn't happening before but is now is Carter Stickney. Oh, Robert West is coming back. Oh my goodness, he is driven around. I don't know what happened there, but yeah. So he's clearly run out of fuel. That gap closed up real quick, but I wasn't sure exactly what happened.
And so, you're seeing Rich Butler and Robert West. They probably just need that quick splash in order to get this last lap in.
Oh, that killed him there. Look at Rusty Ponberg. I don't know if he's slow just to let them by or slow for fuel, but he's deciding better of it and letting them go. This is it. It's for all the marbles here, ladies and gentlemen. Look at that. Look at Weber. Man, if you're going to throw a Skippy around, now's the time to do it, buddy. This is it. Photos driving in the rearview mirror. Hopefully not, but probably. I mean, come on, it's human nature. You gotta be wondering what he's doing.
This takes so much patience. This is a section of the track where overdriving is not fast, and so, wow! And look at this closing.
Look at that! He's right there. He's right there. This is going into the final hairpin, braking zone, heavy braking zone. Who is gonna be gutsier? And we've seen this before, where Weber, the outside line, gets a better run. Holy cow, Charles Weber.
It looked to me like Thomas Photos just clipped the tire barrier on the exit.
Oh my gosh, and that's going to be the finish. Charles Weber, Thomas Photos right at the line. Dan Pogowski in third, Carter Stickney in fourth, Nathan Tetzloff in fifth, Jake Ashe coming around there in sixth, Joe Zubovich. Oh my gosh, here we go. Joe Zubovich and Barry Stockdale still at it with, Michael Schmidt here too. Oh my goodness. Coming around the final corner. I should have been using Jake Ashe's finish line cam there that he used for us. I totally forgot I even had that. Oh my goodness, that's good right there. So Joe Zubovich, Barry Stockdale, Michael Schmidt there, 8, 7, 8, 9. Andy Au will finish 10th, and Robert West in 11th. Oh my goodness, that was good. That was good. I enjoyed that. I hope you enjoyed that.
I'm glad I was able to reboot.
All right, we've got one driver out still, apparently. Not finishing out. Well, hey, while we wait for the results to finalize here, glad you can make it back, but you're going to be racing in the SF1 race, yeah?
Well, I'm debating it. I don't want to be a menace on the track, but I love this track. Last season I had one of my better finishes, a top 20 finish in SF1 here at Sonoma, and I'm really dying to run it, but it scares me a little that in this
Okay.
heat.
Okay. Well, I'll tell you what. You're always welcome to join us in the booth,
We'll
but
see.
totally get it. Totally get it. If things happen, just pop on in. But here we go. Congratulations once again on a fantastic last turn pass by Charles Weber for the win. Thomas Photos battled hard, still brought it home. P2. Dan Pagowski will finish out your podium. Carter Stickney and Nathan Tetzlaff are your top five. And then, of course, Jake Ashes, Joe Zubovich, Barry Stockdale, Michael Schmidt, Andy Au, Rusty Pottenberg, or I'm sorry, Robert West. Can't forget Robert West. He had some great battling today, too. Rusty Pottenberg, Rob Chestnut, Rich Butler, and Craig Montgomery. Great freaking race from everybody. That's all I got to say. That was a lot of fun. I hope that SF1 can give you 50% of what we saw tonight, and we're going to be in good shape.
All right, you talked me into it. I'm gonna dive in.
Outstanding, man. Well, hey, any last thoughts before I let you go? I think we're running a little bit late here.
Oh no! I mean, if you just look, you have to feel a little bad for Andy Au and Rusty Pontenberg. They were on the front row. But this just goes to show just like how close all these drivers are.
Yeah.
They are just, any week anything can happen, and it's these are just such great drivers. Fun to watch.
Yep, absolutely, man. Well, good luck tonight. We'll let you go. We'll let you get some warm-up laps in. Hopefully not too warm. Hopefully keep it
Right.
a little bit cooler. But yeah, I just want to shout out. I've got my team Fokum gentlemen in the house tonight. My Cup League guys tuning in, and it's awesome for the support. Hopefully everybody had a great enjoyment of the race. We're gonna take about a 50.
Chris, and big congratulations.
Oh, appreciate it.
Come
Well,
on.
I'm gonna brag on myself later. I didn't want to get
Okay,
into it just
good.
now. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Brag on the SF1 race gets a little big viewership. That's when you want to do it.
Once we get bored with those SF1 guys, because
Yes.
I didn't want to take away from the SF2 guys. Yeah.
Well,
We'll definitely
congrats. Let me congratulate you now. It's
awesome.
just
Really
awesome.
appreciate it.
Impressive. Yep.
Really appreciate it.
Great.
Yeah, huge. These guys are awesome. Awesome to race with, awesome to be with, and very, very SNS like for sure. Just great guys. So anyway, we will see everybody back here in about 10-15 minutes. I'll put up a timer when we get a chance. So hopefully you can join us then. Otherwise, we'll see you next week. And good luck, Peter. And we'll see the rest of you in just a little bit.
All right. Great. Thanks.
See you. All right, welcome back, Skippy Night. Skippy Night. Sunday night, Skippy Racing fans. Sorry, I've had like 2 sips of wine here, and I'm already a little bit loopy here. Sunday night, Skippy Racing coming to you live from Sonoma Raceway. You just saw a very exciting race for Skippy Formula 2, and we're about to make it a whole lot more crazy. We've got 43 Skippies coming at you on the grid right now, putting in their final laps for the qualifying. And joining me tonight is Chaz Weber, who had a fantastic race, man. Talk to us about the Skippy Formula 2 race.
I didn't think I was gonna win that.
Yeah.
Uh,
I think you surprised. I mean, well, surprise may be the wrong word, but
he
yeah, you took it in the final turn.
did he hit the wall? The tire
No,
barrier?
he caught a little bit of contact with the tire barrier, I think, but other than that, that's about it.
Because all I heard, because I went around the outside and all I heard was bang, and I saw a tire in my rear view mirror, and I'm like, oh, that sucks so bad because we were having such a good race.
Well, man,
And
either way, you pulled it off, and we're happy to have you here in the booth tonight as we look at the Skippy Formula 1 racers. Jeffrey Decker winning the pole award for this evening. Edwin Viorino getting the outside pole there. And we're going to just scroll through here real quick on the grid so you can see where your favorite driver is starting. And we've got a full field tonight here, ladies and gentlemen. 43 Skip Barber Formula 2000 drivers. If you can imagine, what do we have, 15 for the Skippy Formula 2? So 3 times that. This is going to be very interesting. How would you approach this race with 3 times the amount of drivers out there on the grid?
slow and steady, and keep yourself out of the mass wrecks because you're gonna have everyone eager to make up positions, and with as many people on the grid right now, I think that's going to cause a lot of wrecks, and if you can avoid that, you're going to make up a lot of spots.
Well, you can see some of the Skippy Formula 2 drivers are joining the grid here, including Thomas Photos, who you beat out there in the final turn. He'll be starting 30th tonight. A couple other real contenders there. See what they can do and represent for the Skippy Formula 2 League. But either way, man, congratulations once again. It was a fantastic race. It was a lot of excitement. Hope you get to watch that back because I can tell you we've got a lot of people. We even got Brandon Shelton checking in, telling you were killing it in the breaking zone of 11, and a fantastic job. So you've gained some fans tonight already.
Thank y'all very much.
Well, we are here in wine country, and I have we just got a shipment in. For those of you who don't know, my wife and I we met while we were living in California. We got married in I guess it was technically Santa Ynez, although we call it Los Olivos because it's closer to that town. And it was right on a vineyard, so we still get shipments from them every 3 months or so. So I'm drinking one of their wines, and I'm told by my Bonfire Racing League brethren, Brandon, that Syrah, also known as Shiraz, is a popular red wine, typically bold and full-bodied, with aromatic notes of smoke, black fruit, and pepper spice. So that's what I'm going to be enjoying tonight from my wedding vineyard, and enjoying the race with everybody this evening.
Very nice. I almost thought you said your wedding anniversary, and I was about to say,
No. I would be a dead man if that.
I was about to say, you're doing a racing broadcast.
Oh boy, if I said that, then that's my mistake. It's once again, it's already hitting me here. So so shout out. We've got Team Dancy in the house tonight. Verna. El Castano, I'm not sure who you're rooting for, but welcome to the chat over there on YouTube. I've got some Bonfire Racing League fellas who we'll talk about that in a little bit, but my teammates from my NASCAR Cup League on iRacing are joining us here tonight. And we took the season podium 1, 2, and 3 in Bonfire Racing League for the season earlier today here, and we're very excited about that. So awesome that they got to come in and join us, Team Folcom there. So I'm excited. This is gonna be a great night, man. I'm looking forward to all of this. Everything about this. We've got Chaz Weber in the booth. We've got wine. We've got BRL in the house. We've got a bunch of people watching, and we're at a great racetrack with 43 drivers. So we're taking the starting grid. So let's go ahead and oh, yeah, if I can do it there. Yeah, there we go. I can click. There we go. All right. You can
So
see
did
how far back are they going to be stacked up here. That's the other exciting part. So this is standing starts. This is a little different than you would see on oval racing here. Skippy Formula 2 is obviously not super overpowered. So, what actually, let me ask you, what is your starting technique in the Skippy?
I actually have a button clutch mapped. So my starting procedure: lights go gray, I press my button clutch in, shift to first. Lights go red, I rev up, and then green, I let off the button clutch and go.
Well, there you
I
go.
mean,
So there's probably a couple techniques out there. That certainly sounds like a very fast one. Clearly works pretty well for you, but the lights are about to go out here at Sonoma. Keep your eye on Barney, the flagman, on the right side of your screen as he's about to wave the green flag and send 43 Skip Barber Formula 2000s down to turn 1. Look at that. They were all the way around. They were probably back at the hairpin there. Can't believe it. All
close
these
to it.
guys. Oh, and we've got a car around already. That's Andy, or Sean Trediak actually making contact with who I believe is Andy Au. Up to see there. And that turn is going to be the bane of a lot of people's existence here, I imagine.
Yeah, I think that.
Rusty Puttenberg continues to follow. Joshua Dancy has crashed. Oh no.
Yeah, that turn going up and down the hill twice is gonna catch a lot of people out.
All right, well,
at least till the race gets settled down and you start seeing your gaps form.
he just jumped the curb, tried to keep it away from Steve Dewar there and turned around. So luckily not a lot of damage there to Dancy, but he's got his work cut out for him moving forward. And let's check back in with their leader here, Jeffrey Decker, as he's going to lead the field over the start-finish line for lap 1. Edwin Viorino in close check with Mike Bowers, Michael Howenack, and Manuel Lacida. Oh boy, we've got some newcomers to the league. So we'll do our best, Manuel. I do apologize if I get your name wrong, but it looks like everybody has kind of filed out here. Not too bad. We've got Andy Au having crashed and Thomas Photos. Let's check in with that real quick. Andy Au coming through the S's. He was, I believe, part of that initial contact there with Sean Trediak. Yeah, and he's just going to send it a little bit far. There goes his front wing. This is Thomas Photos.
I think that's Andy Au and the red car.
Yeah, Thomas was already hurting, it looks like. His car had seen better days, so he was involved in something earlier and just couldn't hang on to it anymore. Well, check this out. Edwin Viorino giving Jeffrey Decker the business here as we check in. Brandon Shelton wondering who the biggest movers so far are. So let's pop that up for you right there. We've got a couple, actually quite a few, but looks like Aaron Law down there in 29th position is going to be our biggest mover of the evening at the moment with 12 spots gained. The front of the pack has been relatively static. So a lot of those movers probably part of these early incidents and take advantage of that, although, oh my goodness, look at this. Rusty Pondberg going slow there on the inside, to the left of your screen. Carl Gronke making a move to the inside of Sam Bridges. Holy cow! I'm sorry, man. We got. I don't even know what to focus on here. This is very tough. Jeffrey Decker still out in front of Edwin Viorino, but the pressure is on with Mike Bowers closely in tow. But they are putting a little bit of a gap between them and Michael Howenick.
Yeah, I was gonna say your top three are starting to build that gap to pretty much the rest of the field. It's about 2 seconds right now.
So you can actually start to see the names on the track map. So that's good with 43 drivers on the grid here. I guess so difficult. We still don't have Charlie McCarty has gone off. Although he's not in pit road yet, I'm not sure what happened to him.
So
He's
Chris,
still
did we
sitting-
talk?
All right, yeah, go ahead.
Did we talk about the mad rush before the Skippy SF2 practice?
Well, not really. We we had a little bit of a shenanigans before the SF2 race where nobody really knew what the password was except for a save, but for one guy, Rob Chestnut, yeah. And we couldn't get a hold of either him or Ian, and it was a lot of fun trying to crack the code. We tried a bunch of different ones. Apparently, it was one that we had used before, but it was lost on us. And it was an interesting start to the evening for sure. And then,
Mine got even better after that.
oh yeah,
I was watching a live stream today, sitting in my rig, and I guess I unplugged my pedals. So I get into practice, and it's like connect peripherals. I'm like, they're connected. So I'm looking around, I can't figure it out. Finally, I figure out my pedals are unplugged. I'm like, oh crap! So I'm mad scramble trying to get this thing plugged back in,
yeah.
and I'm like,
that'll
I'm
hurt.
not taking this off the foot plate.
It's tough to drive without the pedals there.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that was my headspace the first probably 5-10 minutes of practice. Just trying to get settled back down and get into a rhythm.
Got some good side-by-side racing back here with Lyndon McMurphy, Kyle Reed, Adam Wright, Jonathan Dockery, Eric Lamoureux. Eric Lamoureux back a little bit further than I would have expected, to be honest with you. You saw in the earlier picture. And actually, I'll bring that up here. Don't let me forget to bring the picture of the trophies back in. But, through the kind donations of Team Shake and Bake, the top 3 finishers from last season will be receiving a very nice glass trophy, which I was showing in the transition documentation, or the transition video there between the SF2 and SF1 races. We'll bring it up one more time so people can see. But Eric Lamoureux finished second, I believe, and he is kind of back there in traffic and working his way back up. I'm not sure, he's down only 2 positions so far. So definitely an interesting start for him, although Jonathan Dockery just ahead of him. And hopefully they can start making their way up back through the field. He's in good company. Steve Dewar just behind Pete Broughton, up 2 spots. He won last week's race. Looks like he's got his rear wing bent just a little bit, so he may have been involved in something earlier. Although, once again, he's still up 2 spots regardless, so who knows?
Yeah, I saw those trophies in the transition. Those are nice.
They really did a great job, and of course, Dancy wants me to give credit to Team Shake and Bake, but sounds like he did the brunt of the getting him created and all that. So big thanks to Team Dancy and Team Shake and Bake for the trophies there. It's going to be a great addition for last season and actually moving forward. Now look at this, the battle for the lead is heating up. Edwin Viorino, Jeffrey Decker, Mike Bauer still within striking distance. Seems like he's just kind of hanging back there, and they have worked out down to a 2-second gap over Michael Howenick. Paul Bachler up a spot there now, and Carl Dronke.
Yeah, you're starting to kind of see your packs form.
Everybody kind of spreading out, but then again, there's still some good little bit of racing. Here's Charlie McCarty, talking about him before, involved in some sort of incident, although we didn't see, and he is with Dan Pagaski, Aaron Law, so this is another fast group here who I'm sure will be looking to make up some spots. It's still early in the race. We're not even 10 minutes into the 40-minute race, so not even 25% complete. So a lot of laps to go, a lot of racing to go, and I'm sure these guys are going to take full advantage of all of that. So what were your biggest takeaways from the race earlier tonight? Where were you finding time? Where do you think that you're going to see these passes? You can see Carl Dronke actually making a move to the inside. So one thing that we saw in the SF2 race is it looked like it was very easy to get a run on the outside of the hairpin, and it was very difficult to make a move to the inside, which is counterintuitive. But then, of course, we see Carl Dronke making that look easy. So maybe my theory's out the window there. But yeah, what were your passing zones?
That was my main one, and that's where I made up most of my time to catch up back to the guy in front of me. Every lap with the gap in front, I could brake a little later going into that hairpin than him and still get it slowed down and make up 2 or 3 tenths coming back the front, coming into the front stretch, and little by little just clawed my way back. And then at the end of the race, I was right on his tail, and he defended inside, so I went outside, and the rest is history. But I think that that final hairpin, if you get it right, you can make up some time, or is the main passing zone. Everything else is maybe through the S's if you get a good run.
Yeah, you can see here it looks like a lot of defending that happens, and it's really tough because that last turn through the S's really sets everything up for that final turn through the hairpin. They're almost 3 wide there. That's Eric Lamoureux, Jonathan Dockery, and Lyndon McMurphy. Holy cow. These guys really, and there's no chill here. There's no wine sipping like we're doing up here in the booth. This is elbows out racing.
Nope, they're on the move now. You got 2 wide going up the hill. Or almost 2 wide going up the hill.
You got Team Bell checking in. I want to make sure that there we go. Scott Bell, fellow Californians. So, drinking the California wine. Got to represent our fellow Californians here. I know we've got some more in the league too, but thanks for coming out, Sarah. Yeah, man, up 4 spots. I'm sorry. Scott's up 4 spots. So, looking really good right now, and leading a train of Brian Perez, Jeff Torbeck, and Matt Shepka. Trying to drag them back to this Peter Nodwell group here that we were just looking at. So they are just... Oh! That's going to send Lyndon McMurphy around. Look at that. Just a little bit. I don't know if that was lockup or contact, but now he's stuck. I don't know how you rejoin that without... Yep. He's just going to have to wait. Yeah, man, he's just going to tow. Yeah, boy. Yeah, you hate it for him, but that's probably the right sporting move right there. Unfortunately for Lyndon.
I was watching Spencer Clark's stream the other night, and he got into a bad spot to where I told him, I was like, that was probably the best thing you could do was tow, because you're going to wait till the back of the pack comes, and then...
Yeah. Well, so I don't even know what the little tow penalty is here, but you're right.
It all depends. Tows all depend on where you are on track. So the closer to that, I'm guessing the closer to the pit entrance you are, the shorter it's going to be. If you're on pit exit, they got to tow you all the way back around the track.
Well, we're going on 1 minute now, right now for Lindell, but we'll see what happens with him. This is the battle for the lead once again. Jeffrey Decker and Virino, Mike Bowers, and there's still some great battling. You know what? Gap is fun to watch, but let's look at interval here because that's really, I think, what the people want to see. Just
where the battles are.
Yeah, exactly. Just, you know, the yellow and the oranges is what you want to focus on for how close people are racing together. And I got to be honest with you, that's the majority of the timing tower right now. So spare a thought for us as we try to cover all of this. Adam Wright and JR Hoops going wheel to wheel with Kyle Reed trying to follow Adam past JR. Able to pull it off. Ray Bartnikowski and Eric Lamoureux just behind them as Pete McBroughton watches on.
Jonathan Dockery behind him.
I mean, this is, yeah, these guys have not lost contact with one another. We've checked in on these drivers before. This is not ending anytime soon as we approach the 15-minute mark of our 40-minute race. This will be a one-stopper, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, unlike the Skippy Formula 2 race, which was 2. So a little bit different, a little less strategy, if you will. Edwin really trying to find his spot.
I could see it.
Go ahead.
I could see Edwin trying to jump Decker in the pit stops. Jump
Edwin
Decker in the pit.
Absolutely one of those guys who's got the pit stops down to a science. You know, I don't know that we ever talk about Decker that way. I wouldn't take anything away from him from being able to do that, but yeah, Edwin is one of those guys. He's either going to get the penalty for or speeding or not filling up. He's kind of an all or nothing.
Yeah.
Driver. So you really got to be on your mind your P's and Q's, be on your marks if you're going to beat Edwin.
But when two racers are so evenly matched, if he gets his pit stop right and Decker makes any kind of mistake, I mean, I could see Edwin jumping Decker for the lead.
Yeah, look at, speaking of Spencer Clark, he is right in the thick of it here with Sean Trediak and Dan Pogowski. You follow Spencer on Twitch, I'm sure this is going to make for some fantastic streaming on his end.
Yeah. So far this race is definitely making up for the lackluster F1 race today.
Which was a shame. So for anybody who isn't aware, you don't have to be a league member or anything, but we started something yesterday, Saturday, where at about 4 p.m. Eastern, we open up an open practice. We call it happy hour. At 5 p.m. we start the quick race. So no prep, no pressure, no points. There's nothing like that. But we try to do the current F1 and or IndyCar combo as long as iRacing has it, and just talk about the upcoming race and all that. I gotta tell you, it's my first time on Red Bull Ring, and that's a fun track. I'm super surprised by the race that was put on today. Although, I mean, I'm not gonna complain about F1 racing. I still think it was a lot of fun, but that track is a lot of fun.
And it was a good race. It just, the field spread out so quick that the leaders were gone, and then everyone just kind of held station, and one or two overtakes here and there. I think France spoiled a lot of F1 fans with just the amount of overtakes that were in that race.
Max Giacomo checking in the powerful there. Oh no.
Oh, that sucks, Max.
You're not the only one tonight, by the way. Is going on. Gotta be the heat. Gotta be the heat. Gherkin Demir, and he's the Gherkin sandwich right now between Jonathan Dockery, Peter Nodwell, Got Brian Perez in the pits. So we're starting to see the opening of the pit window. As such, we will bring up number of pit stops there so everybody can see who's stopped and who hasn't. Oh, it's wins for Max. There we go. So not the heat, but the wins. If it's not one thing, it's the other.
That'll do it. Heat, wind, or ice are power killers. BioQuack, this is SF1. The SF2 race preceded this race. Sorry, Chris, I'm watching your stream.
Yeah, no, you're good. You're good. Absolutely. I appreciate it. And right now we're checking in once again with JR Hoops, Eric Lamoureux, and the similarly colored vehicles there. Actually, really similar. I think they planned that, but
I think Eric's is the McLaren car. I don't know what JR Hoops is. It might be another version of McLaren.
well, I get those confused now. But these guys are two very quick drivers. Obviously, we know Eric is, but I think JR is one of those underrated, not underrated, but he's super quick and just waiting for his due. Oh my gosh, look at that, up just a little bit ahead there. Adam Wright getting his way around Rich Butler. And Kyler Reed is just giving Adam no quarter there. Crazy. Right on his bumper, or gearbox. I guess he didn't have a bumper here in the Skippy, huh?
No.
You can try, but it's not there. Oh, Adam's gonna dive into pit road. All right, so there you go. We've got a couple different fuel strategies afoot. I'm not even gonna pretend to try to follow all of them. So you can follow along there on the timing tower with how many pit stops everybody's taken. For the moment, majority of people have not, but
I'm going to say in the next few laps you will see people more and more start diving in.
Jonathan Dockery and Gurkin Demir. They're a very close battle here, just behind the one we were just watching. Oh, who's around? Oh my gosh, just missed it. Ray Bartnikowski, maybe.
That looks like race. Yep, that is Ray.
Tried to look. Eatmo Broughton just behind him. Yeah, just copped the curb, and car did not like it.
Nope.
We've seen that a couple times already. Look at this. Dan Pegowski, Sean Trediak. Just doing some ballet moves there for the S's. Beautiful to watch.
You got a group of 6 cars right there.
Oh, goodness. Who is... Oh, somebody diving into pit road. Wow, look at that. Joshua Dancy nearly avoiding contact there. Still trying to work his way back up from the early incident. Ray Bartnikowski recovered after that spin there and maintaining position right now over Matthew Shepka, but see how long that lasts. Jeffrey Decker, Edwin Virano, Mike Bowers, still your top 3 not having pit. Carl Dronke and Paul Bachler. Look at this. Look at this race. Holy cow. As Carl says, yep, no, we're good. We're going to dive in there. Jeffrey Decker, Mike Bowers also did. Guess who didn't? Edwin Viorino. So he's out on his own. He opted not to come in as we tick past 24 minutes of our 40-minute race.
Well, maybe he's got a little bit more fuel left because he was sitting behind Decker that whole race. So that draft, he probably saved a little bit of fuel. Wonder if he can push now and make up some time.
So we will see. His last lap was 122.87. 122.87. We'll see if he does another one, if we can compare times here.
They are flying.
I mean, there's just a lot going on here. Here's Decker back out next to Matthew Shepka. Oh boy, Jeff Torbeck and Mike Bowers barely avoiding each other there. All right, so we're not going to get that comparison because Edwin Viorino is going to come in, smoke it into pit road there. This is one of those pit roads that's just so frustrating because you got to drive forever, and everybody has to do it, so we're all equal. But at the same time, it's got to feel like you're just kind of dragging your feet.
Yep, and this, let's see what happens with Edwin. See if he can jump Decker and take the lead.
So Viorino, Bachler, Reed, Lamoureux, Dockery, Dewar all into pit road. Here's Decker, your current leader. Viorino still in pit road. See if he can start moving. There he goes. Bowers ahead of him. So Decker leading the race is going to shuffle back to third. Now with everybody having stopped.
So Bowers jumped Viorino and Viorino jumped Decker.
Mike Bowers is your leader. Now let's bring up the pit lane times because I gotta see what the differences are here because that is incredible for Mike Bowers. I gotta imagine if you jump a couple positions, you gotta be wondering. So 50.2, he was 2 seconds faster, nearly 3, than the other guys. So he either knows something that they don't, or he may be just a touch short on fuel. Time will tell. Nancy actually is the only one who still hasn't pit, so. Oh, Paul Bachler back in pit lane. Nancy also in for his first one. Well, this is going to be your battle for the lead. Mike Bowers with the shortest pit stop and the most amount of fuel to burn here. See if that works out for him. They have just a commanding gap over that fourth place position, though, of Carl Dronke leading. Sammy Bridges. Manuel. I apologize, Manuel. Lasado or Licado? Not sure. We'll go with Licado for now. Michael Howenick and they've got another 7 seconds back to Eric Lamoureux, Pete LeBron, Adam Wright, Kyle Reed, and J.R. Hoops. So like you said, we've got gaps, we got groups forming, we got gaps forming, we've got all this stuff, but right now the true battle for the lead, the podium really rests in the hands of 3 drivers, and we will see what they can do with it. Carl Dronke is trying to hold off. This has got to be Sammy Bridges, one of his best finishes in the league, at least. He's a very fast driver. We know that from the other racing he does, and the finishes he's had in Sunday Night Skippy before. But I don't know that I've seen him up there battling for a top 5 necessarily, maybe once or twice. So he's got to be real pleased with that. Newcomer Manuel Lacida. What did I say I was going to go with? Lacida.
I think it's Lacida.
Lacida. Manuel Lacida is already in P6, so I mean, shoot,
he's having a great
joining the
debut
league, running 6th position. Yeah, that'll do. Michael Howenick, also a name that I'm not super familiar with, so he may be new as well. In 7th position, he's down 4 spots from where he started, so let that sink in. Newcomer to the league, started 3rd, now on 7th position. Still having a great night, and happy to see him there. Up ahead, Eric Lamoureux, Pete Mobrotten. Mobrotten once again, last week's winner, only sitting in 9th. Adam Wright is trying to drive. Ooh, locking up that left rear. I didn't even know that was a thing. With Kyler Reed and Jair Hoops just behind him. Matthew Shepka is going to let Scott Bell cruise right on by. So Scott Bell up 8 spots. I know Team Bell in the house tonight. Good to see him up 8 spots overall. Looks like he crashed earlier. Oh, I hate to do it, but let's do it. Oh, nope, that's just him going to pit road. No, it's not. What that was. That seems like a technical failure from Scott. I don't see that being a normal thing. So yeah, we're gonna go with technical failure there for Scott. Seems to be the way of the world tonight, whether it's wind, whether it's heat, whether it's just bad luck. I'm not 100% sure, but Edwin Viorino
with the pass on Mike Bauer.
Yeah, like I was looking away for 1 second. We can look back there real quick. Oops. Gosh darn it. There we go.
So he got him coming down the front. Looked like out of the hairpin.
Yep. There you go. That'll do it. So we've got 32 minutes into our 40-minute race. Edwin Viorino maintains command of the lead pack here. They've still got a 7-second gap, so they're maintaining over Carl Dronke. Carl Dronke leading the second pack here of 4 cars. These guys are battling for the top 5 positions.
So when do your top 3 start battling? Because they've just kind of held station this whole race. I mean, besides that move by Edwin, it's just kind of been nose to tail this whole race. I haven't seen much out of them.
It's a very good question. I mean, they've got still a little bit of racing left to do. So Edwin, I think, probably was waiting for just a moment, and he found it. I don't know if it was, something Mike did different or what, but he had his shot, he took it, and he was able to take the lead. So he's still in command at the moment, but yeah, you're right. There's still a lot of racing left to go. When does that next attack happen from the lead group? Meanwhile, we've got Carl Dronke under a lot of pressure from Manuel, Sammy, Michael, and a little further back here, Eric Lamoureux still leading Pete, Adam, Kyle, and JR. I mean, we've got some great racing throughout the field here. Scott Bell still, you saw Shepka let Scott Bell by, or appeared to be at least. Maybe Shepka was just off the pace a little bit, but now Shepka just kind of holding serve with Scott. I'm not sure what happened there, but Aaron Law has got a train escapers behind him. Charlie McCarty, Brian Perez, Sean Trediak, Jeff Torbeck, Spencer Clark, and Joshua Dancy.
And not to say Shepka's off the pace, but when you got a quicker driver, let him by and just, you know, stick to their back end like glue, and maybe he'll drag him up a little bit or keep him where he's at, and that's all you can sometimes ask for.
100%. Yeah. I mean, I wouldn't fault him for that, but that, yeah, it just looked like, at least in the shot there, Shepka was just a little bit slow, but obviously able to maintain the bell for the moment. A lot of great racing throughout the field here. I don't even know where to focus on, to be honest with you. Let's just go checking back in with our leader, Edwin Viorino, at least for the moment. Look at these guys. There's no quarter being given here for the lead. And clearly all three of these drivers have the pace to win. So it's really just opportunity.
Bowers, no, I was thinking Bowers could have drove around the outside of him.
Oh, he's going to go for it. We're going to ride along board with Jeffrey Decker as Mike Bowers looks to the outside. Maybe does the undercut. Nope. All right. So this may be just a little bit of poking and prodding, you know, seeing what works, what doesn't. You don't want to give away all your cards this early because there's still going to be a couple laps left. We're 35 and a half minutes into the race. So we are kind of running out of time, I will say. But at the same time, you know, Mike Bowers is probably trying to exhaust his options. He's pulling out the Swiss Army knife and trying to figure out what's going to work and what's not going to work.
Guessing by the time, I'm going to say about 3 laps left. With a lap time of 1:23 is what they're running.
Well, we saw it in SF2 where they were able to, you guys were able to extend it one lap because Thomas Photos didn't quite make it. Oh, look at that. We're getting a real good look at it. Mike Bowers' nose cone there. That's gotta be the move. It's gotta be. They're just not getting any closer in any part of the track other than the final turn there, that hairpin.
Yeah, I think that's.
I don't know where else you're going to be able to do that. I say that now, and we're also getting some pretty good views of all the bugs that are smashed on the front of the 76 car there. But
if Bowers is going to make a move, he's going to have to make a move coming into that hairpin and get Edwin on the outside, so Bowers can take the inside and make it stick.
And as we tick down, we're going to tick away just a little bit here. Here's Carl, Sammy, and Michael. And a little further back. Oop. Well, that's Eric ahead of them, although I tuned in on Pete here. Adam, Kyle, and JR. And we've got some pretty good racing throughout the field as Dan Pigowski, Mark Olivier Lawyer, who he still has yet to tell me how to pronounce that name. We tried. Look at that, 2x2 racing. This is all for position here, so that's going to be fantastic to see later. But one last time through the course, this is going to be the battle for the lead. We will focus back on the back of the pack later, but we would obviously be remiss if we didn't see how this ended for the lead pack. Edwin Viorino is going to lead them through the white flag. Oh, no. 2 minutes left. No, 2 laps. Okay, my bad. ICANN has math.
I was about to say in a minute and a half
Yeah,
it
no,
should be the white
yeah,
flag.
they unless they got into Indy cars. Oh, Mike Bauer's way off. I don't know what happened there. Jeffrey Decker able to make the pass pretty easily. Interesting. I don't know what the heck happened there.
Looked like he just gave it up.
Yeah, he seems. Well, we know he had the. Slowest pit stop. So it looks like he's just falling way back. Yeah, he may be out of fuel. Let's see if Mike Bowers comes into pit road here. He may not have been counting on that second lap.
Yeah, they're just running away from him now.
Yeah.
It looks like.
Maybe he has just enough fuel, but not quite enough fuel. So I guess now I can say, ladies and gentlemen, here's the white flag going by Reno. Now that gap though has opened up quite a bit. Jeffrey Decker's got his work cut out for him, trying to chase Edwin Virino down. You know who also has his work cut out for him is Carl Dronke holding off Sammy Bridges. Look at this. These guys are not that far behind, and Sammy's peeking in, doing his darndest to get around. We also got Eric Lamoureux still leading the track, or leading the what's wrong with me? Leading the pack here for Peter Bryan, Adam Wright, Kyle Reed, Manuel Acita, and JR Hoops. Although now they are getting just a little more spread out.
I think that California wine's getting to you.
Well, apparently, no. I was talking about this well before. I was drinking the California wine, but it's probably not helping for sure. This is Edwin Virino and Jeffrey Decker coming into the final turns here. Look at that. Look at Jeffrey Decker just trying to. You know he's got to send it. You know he's going to send it.
Yeah, but if Virino.
Here we go. This is it. Nothing. I don't think he's got it. Oh, somebody touches the wall there as Edwin Virino is going to take the checkered flag with Jeffrey Decker in second. Mike Bowers coming across the line in third, just barely though. Look at that. Carl Dronke, Sammy Bridges, and Michael Howanek. Eric Lamoureux in seventh. Ebro brought up 12 spots total. Holy cow. No, Eric Lamoureux, sorry. And then Peter Bryan, Adam Wright, Kyle Reed, and I don't know why I'm bothering to say the rest because we've got 43 freaking drivers. So I'm just going to bring up the results when they come up. But we'll just keep an eye on the finish line here. You can see the intervals as they come across. Thanks to Jake Ashe, by the way, for this fantastic finish line camera. That's just not something, for whatever reason, iRacing decided to bust us with. So Jake Ashe, really appreciate it, man. This is a great way to watch all the very close finishes right there. Look at that. Speaking of the devil. So, all right, man. Well, that was pretty good. You know, I gotta say that. What happened? We went away. We already went away from the finish line camera. I don't know how to do this. I think maybe everybody finished. That's the problem. Yep, there we go. All right. Well, at any rate, we're gonna, I guess, tune into the curb cam here. Congratulations once again to Edwin Virino, Jeffrey Decker, Mike Bowers. They're gonna be your podium for the evening. And Carl Dronke, Sammy Bridges with the top five. Man, I gotta go back and look, but that might be his one, either one or one of his first top fives. Great to see him up there. And we'll scroll through the rest of the results while we check out who is hanging around for a chill interview. Nobody. All right. Everybody wants to talk. Everybody's pissed. All right. So, I guess in the meantime, while we wait here, I will just briefly mention, because I've got my Bonfire Racing League brethren in the Twitch and YouTube and whatnot. We were able to take home the season podium, first, second, third. for the Bonfire Racing League. I believe it was the 5th season. I'm sure I'll be corrected if I'm wrong on that. For the we raced the NASCAR Cup cars, and they decided to tune in tonight, which we appreciate. And that was just a lot of fun to race with them. So I said I would mention it earlier. I didn't, and there you go. Very excited. Brandon Shelton. Is Medina still there? Are you alive? David Medina might not still be here, but we're still gonna give him a shout out. But he was 3rd place for the season, and we had a lot of fun. It's a great league. Check out Bonfire Racing League. They race Sunday mornings for Cup, NASCAR Cup, Tuesday nights for NASCAR Truck, and Saturday, at the moment at least, Saturday nights or evenings, I guess, for NASCAR Xfinity. So great league. We had a lot of fun. Very, very proud to be part of that team, and we did very well. So anyway, back to Sunday Night Skippy here. As we wait for people to come in for some interviews, we'll scroll through the last of the attendees here. And I don't know why I didn't add it to this. Maybe I just added it to the wrong. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so here we go. Make sure everybody sees where everybody finished. Yep, okay, we got that. Okay. So this is something that Team Shake and Bake put together. It was in the intermission screen, but this is our trophies that are going out to last season's first, second. And speaking of season champions, this is what SNS is doing for our champions. First, second, and third place, compliments of Team Shake and Bake, and specifically Joshua Dancy. So we're super happy to and honored that they would even think to do that. They look fantastic. I hope that the drivers are super happy to get them, because I'll tell you what, anybody would be honored to have one of those. They look amazing. I would proudly hang that in my office, my man cave, whatever. So that looks amazing. And congratulations to all those drivers at any rate. I know we gave them a lot of credit. And finally here we've got our interview standby booth being populated. So let's. Sorry, I'm trying to do like a million things at once here. Let's bring them in. Let's start. I mean, shoot, why not? Ray Bartnikowski, joining us here tonight. Trying to figure out. So you probably didn't have the night that you envisioned, but you had some very good racing, man. Talk to us through what you saw tonight.
Yeah, the night I didn't expect started when I qualified P7. My fastest lap all week was like a 123.7. So to put down 123.5 in qualifying was crazy. And then during the race, I actually got under 122 or 122.8 at one point.
I mean, it's a good problem to have, I guess. But I don't know how it is. Yeah, I see what you're saying. It's tough to go up from there.
The problem was it put me up with a bunch of people who were pretty quick and who I didn't have really much experience racing with. So they had to put up with me blowing a couple of braking points and being slow for the first couple laps. So I'm really glad they were patient about it, and they let me get the car under me, and they took advantage when I had that spin in turn 5.
Well, certainly appreciate you coming into the booth. What do you think about this track and this layout versus the layout we saw last season?
I don't know. I actually really enjoyed it. I kind of missed the carousel, but that was pretty much it. I liked the turns 5 and 6 a little bit better, and I liked it seemed like we were carrying more speed through the S's, so you had to take it a little bit differently. But yeah, this is a fun track to drive.
Very good, man. Well, any shout outs you want to give?
Shout out to Chaz and Thomas Photos. That SF2 race was great. The finish was just awesome.
Thank you. I do appreciate that, and It's always like I'm glad I didn't just run away with it, and I had a great battle because I always want to give a good show to anyone that's watching the stream. I just don't want. I hate boring races, so I try not to have boring races.
Yeah,
Oh, that was great.
I don't think you could say that was a boring race.
No, not when I was covered in sweat. I had to work for it.
Well, very good, man. Well, thanks for joining us, Ray. And yeah, heck of a performance. Looking forward to seeing you build on that for for next week.
Awesome. Thanks, guys.
We'll see
Good
you.
night.
Ray Bartnikowski, always a pleasure to have him. He joined us for the Saturday session there, where we were having some fun with the Delara IR01 at Red Bull Ring to just have some fun before the actual F1 race. And he was super fast. Started on the pole, spun it just like 75% of the field, but we all had some fun. So Ray's a good guy. Happy to see him doing well. Don't know why everybody's automatically muted there. Jonathan Dockery joining us here tonight. It looks like you had some really good battling there, Jonathan, and you seemed like you were always around somebody. Up 2 spots total to finish 15th. Talk to us about Sonoma.
I'm glad to be done here. Because if you remember back last season, don't I think it wasn't even 5 laps in, and I was wrecked out of the race, like self-spun into the tires. So, um, it's okay. Like practicing Sonoma's great. It has everything, whichever layout you're on. It has everything you could want in a track. It's got big draft spots, technical spots, but racing here terrifies me like no other track. Like every lap, I was just praying I would not hit the wall or spin out or wreck anyone. Um, I know lap one, I don't remember the guy's name, but um, I was following Kyle Reed up the hill in lap one, and there was a red car off to the left, and he was way out wide. And Kyle went up under him, and since he was so far out, I went with Kyle, and then the guy closed back down the track, and we bumped. And then I think we bumped the second time, and I apologize if that was my fault. And then the only other car I touched, I think, um, it was right before a couple laps for the first pit stop. We got into the hairpin, and they stacked up pretty deep, and I was on the brakes pretty hard, but I just mistimed it, and I barely touched Pete. And I'm just glad I didn't spin him out because that would have been horrible. But it was overall pretty good night. Messed up in the pits and I couldn't get my fuel button to work, so I had to grab my mouse and cost me a few seconds. But top 15 here, we'll take it. That's 2 races and a 10th and a 15th. I can't complain.
Yeah, it's
That's a
tough
good way to
field,
start
man.
the season.
Well, hey, any shout outs you want to give before we let you go?
Yeah, I'd like to thank Carl Dronke for working with me this season, and Steve Durr for all the chatting and mental help. And a huge shout out to the SF2 crew because those guys put on a great race tonight, and I think almost all of them had a clean race. So it's great to be able to spot for Barry and just watch those guys race and progress. It's it truly is something to watch whenever you see these guys last season to this season. They're like, it's not tenth. Some of these guys are gaining second from season to.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah, Barry. I mean, Barry's always been pretty fast, but yeah, he was. I'm jealous that you got a spot for him today because he was locked in some pretty good battles.
yeah, Barry had a pretty good race. It was Andy Au. I don't know how to say his last name. That's the guy I bumped, but he had a really good SF2 race, and he's quick. I mean, he qualified top 15 in SNS1 tonight. So, but it was great. I mean, we're off next week to a track that I'll like better than this place. So.
All right. Well, there you go, man. If you like it better than this place, we what are you thinking? Top 12? Top 10?
Uh, I don't know. My goal, like coming in here, I told Steve if I could come out of here with the top 15, I would be happy. Like I said last week, my goal for this season is just 2 SNS top 10s and a 2KI rating. Anything more than that is just extra. So, working with Carl and trying to improve in some areas where I'm still lacking a little bit. Like I still use a little too much brake, and I need to work on letting the car roll a little more before I hop back in the gas, and I gas it a little hard.
Mm.
So, but from last season to this season, I could not be happier. So we'll be off to next week, and we'll see how it goes. I mean, if they end up with the top 10 or 15 points at the end of the season, that's a win compared to 40 something last season, and a heck of an improvement. So, but thank you all for all you do, and I'll jump out of your hair. And thanks for your time.
Awesome, man. Well, hey, it's great to see you doing well, and we're always cheering for you up here. Good luck next week.
Yep. I don't know when we go to Imola, but that is the one track on the schedule that I'm really looking forward to. So,
It's circled. I got to take a note for that. I gotta. we'll,
yeah.
we'll make sure to bring
So
you back in for that.
it's a huge, long track that reminds me a lot of Spa and Watkins Glen, and I usually run fairly well there. And as long as I'm driving well, like I have been, it should be a really great and interesting race. So maybe that'll be my second top 10.
We certainly hope so, man. Well, good luck, and we're cheering for you. And
Yes, sir.
yeah, we'll see you next week.
Yes, sir.
Oop, I almost moved you, Chaz. He scooted on me too soon there. That was Jonathan Dockery. Let's bring in Mike Bowers. Mike Bowers, who was, I mean, well, I don't know. Let's let Mike tell the story there. I don't, doing you had the fuel strategy. Was that a fuel thing or what happened? He's gone. All right, we're gonna keep him in the channel. While we keep him in the channel and keep things moving along, we're gonna bring Jeffrey Decker in, who finished second to Edwin. Jeffrey Decker. Oh, oh, okay. So, oh, Mike, muting, unmuting. You there, Mike? All right, technical difficulties. Jeffrey Decker finished second, able to make the final pass there over Mike Bowers for the second position. Looks like it came down to a little bit of field strategy because you've pit before Edwin did. He set out just a little bit longer. Talk us through what your mentality was to kind of dive into pit road there.
Yeah, I mean, I knew from last season that the fuel saving was super strong because I followed Edwin around the first stint last season. And then I ended up underfueling myself because I didn't have enough information uh, to add enough fuel, right? Like my fastest lap was still in, or my like most wasteful on fuel lap was still in draft, and I know that actually that makes a huge difference. So I stayed out as long as I could, but Edwin I think just was able to save an extra lap because I was right at the edge of my fuel limit coming in on that lap. So yeah, you get to save a lot behind someone. But basically, for me, it was good that Mike came in behind me because I knew if you didn't have that information, it might be difficult to fuel enough for the end of the race. I think Edwin got just enough information from having that one clean air lap. But yeah, I was trying to play a little mind game there by not letting these guys get enough information for refueling.
Well,
I
just a
usually so like an example is I usually have a buffer for like overfueling just to make sure I could make it to the end. But I ended up saving an extra whole lap of fuel being behind them on that second stint, just to kind of show you how much the fuel saving makes a difference there.
wow. Wow. Yeah, that's actually is that a function of the track just being super fast with not a lot of technical sections, or what makes that so? What makes Sonoma
Yeah, I
uh
think it's when you get
such?
into like the braking zones, you essentially can't pass anyone unless you want to dive bomb them, right? So you kind of just have to like lift early, brake early, give everyone enough margin uh, so that you don't run into the back of them or accidentally dive bomb them. So I think it's just by nature of the track, you end up doing a lot of natural fuel saving just by trying to avoid killing the guy ahead of you.
Well, I mean, I guess that's good.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
it's a good instinct to have. Is there anything looking back that you are taking away from this? I always hate the do you wish you would have done anything different, because clearly not, because you did what you did, but anything you took away from it
I
going
should have
forward.
just I should have just had a fake bad start and then just zipped behind Edwin off the start and done the fuel saving myself. But no, I knew like being out on pole and leading those laps, I knew Edwin was going to want to stay behind. I knew the same thing for Mike. Like the fuel saving is the way to go here because it's such an advantage. Like I said, like I mean, he was at least able to save a lap on that first stint, so it definitely makes a huge difference in the pits. So the race kind of went the way I was expecting. But yeah, it was good fun. I mean, it's always fun to battle Edwin and Mike. We all kept it clean up there, and that's why it's so fun to race in this league because you have guys of such quality on track.
Well, it's got to be a little disappointing to start. Not disappointing to start on the pole, but to not maintain that. But still, losing Edwin Viorino is. I mean, come on.
There are worse. Yeah, there are worse things to have happened to you. So, no, it was good fun. Yeah, I had a great time getting on the podium. I think because this is our third time here, I've occupied every spot on the podium now, and it's my home track. So I feel like that's a good ending to it, right?
Yeah, I would say so. Yeah, because we've talked about this before, but you run not this layout necessarily, right? But you run this in real life.
Yeah. It's the home track. It's the one I race in Lemons the most at. So I'm familiar with it.
Well, sorry, I'm trying to also troubleshoot while we're doing this. Mike Bauer's just
all good. Yeah, I think
fun.
Yeah, I think we got to get Mike in here.
We're trying. Not working. But at any rate, man, yeah, it's
he's in the black hole I fell into in the broadcast last week.
I'm gonna move into a winter challenge. Maybe if we move into winter. No, you know what, Clark? No, where'd he go? Well, at any rate, man, it's
there we go.
Oh,
we got him. Yes.
Good Lord, how bad was that?
That was a struggle. That was probably a bigger struggle than trying to pass Jeffrey Decker and Edwin Viorino, I'm guessing.
Yeah. Probably. I ran out of IQ again, guys.
You got Jeffrey Decker in the booth here with you. What do you got to say to him?
I'm saying that he kicked my butt again.
Oh, no smack talk. Disappointed.
We already did the smack talk, you know.
Oh, you did the smack talk.
I was actually telling Mike when I saw him out in the lead after the pit stops, I saw him like get past Edwin as Edwin was coming out of the pits. I was like, I think it's Mike's season. Let's make this happen. So I'm glad he was able to hang on to P3 because I'm expecting him to be at the front a lot of races, get some wins here. I want him challenging for the championship this season. This is what I want to see.
Me too. I like that. You can stay home next week. How's that?
Well, I mean, I want you to still have to beat me, but I actually I actually don't think I'll be around next weekend. So you do get a week without me next week.
That wouldn't be any fun. I mean, if you win you got to have the big dogs there. So you guys probably already figured out I short field.
Well, so that was my initial, like, my lead-in question, and then there was dead air after I asked it because you couldn't hear us or speak to us. But yeah, like you had the shorter pit stop than everybody. You came out front, and then it just kind of looked like you fell off. So that was the assumption, but you know what happens when you assume. So what exactly happened out there?
Well, I had it set to be the right fuel. And it's sitting there ticking down, and I have it set so I stop the fuel. Mm-hmm. And I guess my thumb got a brain of its own, and just barely half a second early, I hit the button, and I ended up being about 2/10 short. And so I came out in front of Edwin, and I thought, I thought I was short before, and I was wrong, and ended up with extra fuel. So I ran pretty hard, and when I knew I was short, I started trying to save fuel in the front, and you're not going to beat Jeffrey and Edwin.
It's a bold strategy, Cotton. Let's see if it works out for him.
And it was a point where I was like, well, if they pass me, that's fine, because then I'll save fuel and I'll make it to the end. And so running behind Edwin, I just wasn't saving quite enough. And like I told Jeffrey in the other interview room or the waiting room there, I was just a tick shy. And I knew I was going to run out of fuel coming down into the hairpin, and we would be close enough. I didn't want to stack us up and, wreck him and everything. So I thought I'd let him have a run at it and make sure I finished. And that's what happened. So again, I ran out of talent.
Well, you ran out of talent and still finished on the podium in an SNS race. So yeah.
Yeah,
I
just some teething on your way to the championship this season.
Like that talk. We'll see. I was gutted because I actually thought if I could run full pace that I could stay out front there. It's hard to pass. I think we were all fairly equal in pace, to be honest. You know,
Yeah.
Edwin hid some magic. He got hey Jeffrey, how did he get an extra lap out of that on fuel?
Well, I was saying earlier that I actually saved a whole lap of fuel behind you guys on that final stint. So, and the first stint was like 3 laps longer. So I think he just saved a bunch.
Yeah, but how did he save a lap more than I did?
I don't know. I mean, like
He's
I think I said last season after this race exactly that Edwin probably just like starts the race with fuel in his mouth and he just like spits it into the fuel tank as he's going around.
There's something going on there. I don't know how he does it because when he stayed out, I was shocked because I was saving fuel that whole first stint. And I'm like, oh, goody. I backed off a little bit, as a matter of fact, because I knew we were going to go to the pits together. And he stayed out. I'm like, how does the guy do it?
I mean, he's magic. He's magic.
Yeah.
His only comment so far on Twitch is "Good night."
Good night. Good night.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he goes across the start finish line. You see his hand come out the window, drop the mic. I'm going home.
Yeah. And then he tucks us all in for bed and says, "Good luck next time, children."
Yeah. Yeah, I know. Do you get that feeling with the guy sometimes that he's just jacking around with you? You know, I'll let him hang with me for, most of the race, and then he blows your doors off, and then you're grumpy and angry and mystified.
Yeah,
That's what I was. I was
like
kind of
he
waiting.
starts a game of chess with extra pieces somehow.
Somehow.
Well, that's what I was waiting for. Once he took the lead, I was just waiting for him to walk away because I've seen him do it before.
You could tell, like you can never really. Well, no, you can't really tell. Like if he's just kind of poking, if he's waiting, or if you're just really that much faster than him, apparently. But that's rarely the case. So yeah, good job.
I was going to say, I think Jeffrey made the astute assumption there when we were running around that Edwin even had to save a little fuel, but somehow he's good enough to save a little from the front.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'd like to know that.
Well, at any rate, it was great watching you guys battle it out. It was a great, podium. Where are they going to finish? Type of battle is very much a, Verstappen, Hamilton, Bottas / I guess Perez is up there. I don't know, but yeah, you guys definitely made it work.
The question is who wants to be Bottas in this situation.
Yeah. It was either way.
I think I'm the umbrella girl, frankly. I don't even think I can hold their hat.
Well, I'll give Mike Bowers the first since you were third. Any final shout outs you want to give to anybody who may be watching or anybody who may not be watching?
I actually took my kids out. We went camping. I came back to take care of some stuff in town. So I appreciate the fact that my wife and kids let me do this, even in these unusual circumstances where I got to come back and do a little work tomorrow. And they let me come back early just to do the race. So I appreciate them, and I appreciate everybody in the league and how clean everybody races and how fun it is. And you guys doing the broadcast. And Chris, I know you've got a busy life right now with a newborn. So again, just appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate it, Mike, and a really great run tonight. Glad you could join us. We will see you hopefully next week. Yeah.
Indeed, yeah.
Jeffrey Decker, final thoughts.
Good fun. Yeah, as always, big thanks to you, my dude. Also big thanks to the wifey. She showed up with like a beer right after the race, which was much, much needed.
Oh, dang. Okay.
Yeah. So MVP in my
That's
eyes.
service. That's love right there. Holy cow.
Exactly. Yeah, then big shout out to Edwin for the win. Super well done there. And I'll also shout out my friend Jake. I think he is still watching the broadcast. He said that he was enjoying the interview, so I figure I'll say hi to him as well.
I don't know who would ever say that they're enjoying the interview, but we appreciate you, Jake, and congratulations, Jeffrey. That was fantastic run for you. You guys always put on a show, and I think. Hold on, let me try to pull. Oh gosh, I'm so bad at this. I'm sorry. There we go. I don't know if you can watch, but are you on the stream at all?
Oh, I'll pop in real quick.
Yeah. So we've got on the picture, either YouTube or Twitch, whatever you got there. We've got the pictures of the trophies that are going out. So I don't know if you've seen that yet. I'm sure you have. But if you haven't,
Oh yeah, Dancy sent me a picture of these. I'm super excited to get mine. I think this is the first time we've done anything like this, so
it is.
I'm pretty happy it's the season I pulled myself together for.
This is the first season we're doing that, like you mentioned. This is compliments to Team Shake and Bake. This is what Dancy helped put together. Very, very good looking man. So congratulations on the trophy. Congratulations on the second place win tonight. Yeah, even Edwin beauty recognizes beauty right there, man. Those are some great looking trophies. Hope you enjoy it. And thanks to Dancy and Team Chicken Bake for that. So either way.
I think now that's just giving Edwin extra motivation, so I'm upset that you've showed these off.
I know. Edwin, man, we ship to Panama, so you know. just saying. All right. Well, thanks very much for joining us, Jeffrey. Any other final thoughts before I let you go?
No, that's it, man. Yeah, as always, just really, really appreciate it. Thanks, guys, so much.
All right. We'll see you around.
Later, guys.
And I don't know. Stand by. What's going on, man? This has been just a comedy of errors tonight here. I don't know what's going on. Anyway, Mr. Weber.
Yes.
Fantastic race earlier. Got to watch the SF1 race. Any final thoughts before we call it a night?
Just want to shout out everyone in the league. Great racing. Good job. SF2 guys, I'll see y'all next week if I can make it. It is 4th of July, so happy 4th of July to everyone in America. Next, a little early, but yeah, that's all I got.
Awesome, man. Well, yeah, it was a lot of fun watching you in the SF2 race. We were screaming and yelling up here, so go back and watch that. And great job to all the drivers, SF2, SF1. Thanks to Bonfire Racing League, my team, Folcom Racing, for coming out and watching tonight. Team Dancy, Team Bell. We've got some Decker fans in the house. I'm sure I'm missing some others who didn't check in. Edwin, Steve Dewars watching, Max DiGiacomo. Like we got a bunch of people checking in, so we appreciate everybody stopping by. Shout out to Roblar Winery where we got married, and for the fantastic glass of Syrah, and for making me not be able to speak apparently. So I think it might be bedtime for this dude. We will see everybody next week from somewhere. I don't even know, where are we going next week?
We are going to Japan.
To
Suzuka.
Oh, okay. All right. Suzuka. One of my favorite tracks for sure. Yeah.
Pretty sure. Let me double check.
That's gonna be a crazy one if that's accurate, because I think we had some real crazy racing there the last time we were there, but
give me 1 second. Yes, we are at Suzuka GP course next week.
GP, even better. So that's where we were. We actually we pulled an audible on the official schedule and ran the GP course anyway, because whatever out whatever they chose for that week, that season, was pit stops were all messed up. It was just silly, especially with our size grid. So um this is going to be something that we've done before, and I'll tell you what, it led to some great racing. Very drafty. Obviously, any GP course is going to be pretty drafty in the Skippy, but at the end of the night, that's good for us as viewers. I don't know that all the
Especially
drivers are going to enjoy it, but yeah, us as viewers, 100% we're going to enjoy that.
especially with that long back or final straight.
Yep. Yep, 100%. Yeah. Yeah, it's going to be tough. You got Spoon, you got 130R, yeah, 130R, whatever the turn
130R.
is. And there's a couple, there's that chicane, but at the end of the night, there's just a lot of drafting opportunities, and it's tough to gain separation. So looking forward to seeing that again. Hope everybody takes care of themselves, take care of each other, be nice, be kind. Don't you know don't be mean. This is this is a great community that we got here, and I'm really fortunate to be a part of it. Thank you very much, Chaz, for joining us in the booth tonight,
Thanks for
and it
having
makes
me.
it a lot easier to not have to talk all by myself. Thanks to Peter Lee for joining me in the booth for SF2. Thanks to all the drivers for just being awesome at what you do. All the viewers out there, we really appreciate you tuning in. Um, and we will see you next week. Be good. We'll see you.
Have a good night, guys.